Hi, welcome to the latest episode of the Rustic Reviewer. We're your Mormon-looking pretty boy poser host, and if you want to understand that joke, go look in the comments section of my Pretty Hate Machine review. Talks about the second major release Nine Inch Nails ever put out, the Broken EP. Broken belongs to the category of EPs that are substantial enough that they can almost be considered their own albums, and for the purposes of our review of all the Nine Inch Nails albums, we are going to look at Broken as its own album. But the main value of Broken in the Nine Inch Nails discography is that anybody who knows Nine Inch Nails knows this, and for those who don't, I'll explain. The gap artistically between Pretty Hate Machine in 89 and the Downward Spiral in 94 is gargantuan. You go from what is very late 80s synth pop, industrial light with sort of this dancey goth quality and very goofy lyrics, like really, really goofy lyrics, transitions into like grinding industrial metal with lyrics that are dark as hell and really masterful atmosphere and just excellent sound overall. And the value of the Broken EP and understanding that evolution is that the Broken EP is where that sound originates. Maybe not the complete sound. And we'll discuss it when we get to the review of the Downward Spiral. There are some elements of the Downward Spiral formula that are missing from Broken, but that heavy grinding industrial style really started on Broken. And because of that, we're going to look at this album today and see why it's, to this day, one of my favorite Nine Inch Nails albums.
Track 1.
Opinion is just a weird little intro featuring a repeated riff that loops over the course of the song, becoming louder and louder every time, and eventually segueing into the next song.
Track 2. Wish.
And now every album has its songs that, like, when you talk about, like, oh, the Downward Spiral, I automatically think of Closer, Heresy, Reptile, or with The Fragile, you think of The Wretched, La Mer, or with Teeth, of course, The Hand That Feeds, All the Love in the World. This is that song for Broken, and it perfectly illustrates the change in style. Let's compare this with a song from Pretty Hate Machine.
You give me the reason, you give me control. I gave you my purity you stole. Did you think I would take 26 years on my way to hell? Yeah, see, big time would have been this fuck.
Last features not only the badass heavy grinding industrial metal featured on the last song, it also features, well, I can't say it any differently than this, way better writing than we saw on Pretty Hate Machine. Yeah, there's some silly shit that's still there, but it's nowhere near the levels of Devil trying to fuck me in the back of his car, and other goofy and bad lyrics featured on Pretty Hate Machine.
Track 4. Help Me, I Am in Hell.
Help Me, I Am in Hell is just a weird little repetitive instrumental, sort of like Pinion, but way more calm, that represents sort of a break in between the heavy shit that came before and what we're gonna get next.
Track 5. Happiness and Slavery.
Happiness and Slavery is badass. It's very heavy, it's very aggressive, it's very loud, which goes with the first two, and it's written about that classic early Nine Inch Nails topic. The topic of which, for example, had like a hole, and some of the other songs from Pretty Hate Machine were written, and for which pretty much this entire album is about. Namely, Reznor's rather troubled relationship with his record label at the time, TVT. And it also had an insanely fucked up music video that I'm not going to put up here because I'm pretty sure it would get the video flagged and taken down for violence.
Track 6. Gave Up.
I'm not gonna lie, to be honest with you, I've always thought that Gave Up was a little weaker than the other songs on this EP, but not by very much. It's not at the same levels of, say, catchiness or wild, heavy craziness that, say, Last Wish or Happiness and Slavery reaches. It's still a really good song, but it's at a slightly lower level than the rest of the album.
Track 7. Blank.
Okay, well, this is weird. There's nothing here, but the CD keeps on going.
Track 8. Blank, I guess.
There's nothing here. Is my computer fucked up? Is the CD fucked up? Is the CD drive fucked up? What's going on here?
Track 9. Blank again. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that this album was made when CDs used to fuck with you. There are 99 tracks on this album, and between track 7 and track 97 is nothing. You have to sit through 90 seconds of nothing before you can get to the last 2 songs on this album.
Oh, baby, you're so physical.
Track 98 of this EP is a badass cover of an old Adam and the Ants song, Physical, and good lord, does Reznor do it justice here. In fact, I don't really get into Adam and the Ants. In fact, this is the only reason I even know about them. So, to me, the Nine Inch Nails version is better than the original, but that's more down to a matter of me not being a huge fan of the style of the original than any fault of itself.
Track 99. Suck.
Track 99, the other cover song at the end of the EP, is one I'm a little less enthusiastic about. Suck is a cover of an old Pigface song that Trent Reznor helped them write back in the day. And it's not as good to me as the cover of Physical, mostly because it feels a little aimless. It doesn't have the focus that most of the other songs on the album have. And I don't know whether that's a fault of the cover or a fault of the original song. Not being a Pigface fan, I really don't know how they sound. As I said in the intro, you could really make an argument for Broken being the start of the classic Nine Inch Nails sound, and sort of the beginning of that style, rather than Pretty Hate Machine. Pretty Hate Machine, as I've said before, and I think I said this in my review of Pretty Hate Machine, was very dated even when it came out. It very much harkened back to early 80s industrial. Broken, on the other hand, is way closer to what bands like KMFDM and Ministry were doing during the same period. Very heavy, very grinding, very aggressive. And as such, it introduced most, but not all, the elements that would later be featured on the Downward Spiral. Although, as we'll see when we talk about the Downward Spiral, there was a whole lot of atmosphere that wasn't on this EP that gets added on the Downward Spiral. Conceived largely during a period of frustration when Reznor was really pissed off at TVT, and actually hidden from that record label due to them wanting his next release to sound more like Pretty Hate Machine, you can really feel that anger in Broken, and as such, it's one of the rawest and angriest Nine Inch Nails albums. And it's also, like I said, very much a precursor to what was to come on the Downward Spiral. In addition to being short enough that it's not a chore to listen to, I also, because of that, recommend that if you're trying to get into Nine Inch Nails, this is a great one to pick up. But anyway, I've been the Rustic Reviewer. Have a nice day, or whatever it is that you people do.